Eric here at TeamEccenTrick, bringing you guys another dual commentary video. It's Connor on the left playing his Danger Orcust that has been winning matches left and right lately versus my MERMAILs on the right. I apologize I haven't posted a lot lately. I've been, filming skateboarding as per the usual every summer, around this time of the year. My posts start to be a little bit less consistent just because, my camera's in use for something a little bit more important, in skateboarding and things like that. But we still have content we want to put up, and I have been playing a little bit here and there, just testing things like that. I worked on my MERMAIL side deck a little bit. I've been working on Necros. I have a Necros profile I want to bring to you guys. That's just, I want Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Extravagance is kind of important, but I go first on the right. So I drew kind of an awkward hand in the first game, but I try and make it work. So I normal summon the Swap Frog. Attempt this effect to send a level 2 Aqua Monster from the deck to the graveyard, so I send Ronin. And then I activate Monster Reborn, targeting Ronin, figuring I can get some more value off of this rather than bouncing the Swap Frog back for its own cost. So I overlay into the Toad. Figure, just set up some kind of a board here, because I literally opened horribly. Reveal Megalo, discarding both Gameciel and Moulin, and I add the Equip Spell, literally just bricking so hard, so I activate the Equip Spell and attach it to Megalo, and then I attempt Toad's effect, and I special summon the Swap Frog. So, this opening hand was absolutely horrible, but I tried managing to make it work. So Connor activates Called by the Grave, which is negated by the Equip Spell, attempting to target my Ronin, but I, again said no. So he activates Monster Reborn. As you can see, it's kind of tough to see under his hand, but he targets my Gameciel. And then he attempts to go into battle phase and crash against my Toad, trying to prevent me from getting some kind of a good negate. So Toad goes to the grave along with my Gameciel, and then I attempt Toad's effect in grave to add back the Gameciel, and then he chains Called by the Grave and targets the Gameciel I attempted to add back. So that literally leaves me with no hand advantage. He reveals the Danger Nessie in main phase 2. Go odds evens and re-roll, and he discards the one spell card, special summons Nessie, gets a draw. So then he passes turn. I attempt Ronin's effect. Special summon. And there, this game was actually relatively slow. I couldn't beat over his. Had I placed the Megalo in a better position, I could at least go into the Alacia and attack over the Nessie. But the Megalo wouldn't get its attack boost from Alacia. So I decided to overlay into a Toad. Figure I can at least establish some kind of advantage again, and maybe even get an add back off of the Toad. So I attempt Toad's effect to special summon. He actually goes Ash and negates. I have one more Swap Frog in the deck here, so it would have been kind of relevant had that gotten onto the board, but I didn't want to waste the Toad negate on an Ash that wasn't necessary. So the pass turn, but I still can't beat over his Nessie. This game is just so slow. Like this, he reveals Mothman, attempts Mothman's effect. It's evens, roll, and I pick the Mothman. So we both draw a card and discard a card as per Mothman's effect. Which actually really helped me here. That was actually what allowed me to get into the next few plays. So now I normal summon the Neptibus. Well, he passed a turn, so I normal summon the Neptibus. Send the Dragoons, obviously, and then he activates Called by the Grave, and I use Toad to negate the Called by the Grave, and I take it, add the Dragoons, and then on a new chain, both Dragoons and Toad activate. Dragoons has to be chain link 1, obviously, it's mandatory, and then Toad's effect will add water back. So Dragoons, Toad resolves first, so I add back the Dragoons that I was activating, and then Dragoons triggers, which allows me to add the second copy of Megalo. So that's definitely a way to try and go about things, just trying to reestablish some kind of advantage after basically losing my entire hand or at least drawing a really shitty hand in terms of, like, making combos happen. But I revealed the Megalo and ditched Marksman and Dragoons. I added the Heavy Infantry off the Dragoons, and then Marksman destroys a face down card. So he flips the Fog Blade and targets one of my Megalos, which, generally speaking, is a smart play. But there are just so many ways Mermails can function around cards like Fog Blade. As good of a card as it is, so I had sent that Called by the Grave, but I actually can't because it was set that turn. That was something that I forgot about. But I used the Called by the Grave that was in my hand and target his Symbol Skeleton to banish it, because I don't want him getting any plays off of the Orcusts, because that's how his engine kind of snowballs into this big crazy combo that I don't really want happening. So I use actually the Megalo. He Fog Bladed. I attempt to pay the cost to tribute for its 2 attacks. Even though I wouldn't get its 2 attacks, I figured that would at least allow me to get the Neptibus off the field. And then I banish to special summon Ronin, and again with the Megalos just not being in the right zones. But I link rather, and go right into Alacia, figuring I can at least try and establish some kind of disruption, maybe something like that. I mean, I have the Heavy Infantry in my hand, so if I pass it to him, then it will allow me to, as soon as he starts trying to do something, I can discard the Heavy Infantry as cost for send the Heavy Infantry as cost for Alacia's effect to add a Mermail, and then trigger the Infantry on a different chain and pop something. So the only things he has on board right now is Fog Blade and Nessie. Nessie being the only body he has that's defending him. So he sets one, and now he has 2 bodies. And then after that, I use Alacia in his end phase and add Pike. And then Heavy Infantry pops the Nessie, which basically allows me to clear the monster that was giving me the problem in the first place. Not that I wouldn't have been able to clear it anyway, because next turn I could have overlaid, but I use Pike, discard Dragoons, and he scoops it up. So that is game 1, guys. As you can see, not the best game for my Mermails. Obviously, I wasn't really playing in the most optimal fashion. I probably, again, could have overlaid those Megalos and went into a Gaios or even a Draco Sack or something like that and cleared the Nessie, but the Nessie being a 28 defender really was giving me a little bit of trouble there. Had I, again, put that other Megalo in the zone that Alacia pointed to, I would have been able to just swing over it with a 29 body, but, I didn't have the right I didn't have foresight in that, and I wasn't, obviously I wasn't thinking to put the Megalos in those zones, because Nessie wasn't on the field at that point in time, so it was kind of an awkward thing. See, we're siding for game 2, and I'm just thinking of like what I can side against Orcusts, because there are cards that literally shut down the engine, and then there are cards that are effectively worthless against it. So it's really all about siding in the right cards, while at the same time not sacrificing, not relinquishing any of my core engine that I really need. So I figured that if I were to relinquish some of my spell cards, mostly for hand traps, maybe that would slow him down. Maybe that's just the improper thinking. But I just figured that, like, his deck, you know, it runs off of banishing, and it runs off of trying to extend boards and make boards bigger and bigger and bigger until, you know, there's so many negates on board that I am just so overwhelmed that I can't really do much. So I figured that, you know, hand traps would effectively just make it so that he couldn't do much. So I tried siding those in, and we're going into game 2. Obviously, Connor's giving it a nice power shuffle, make sure his deck isn't all, you know, he doesn't have pockets of cards all aligned. So we go into game 2, and as you can see, I drew some of my hand traps. He activates Foolish Burial, and I chain Lancia, which is effectively an off button for his entire Orcust engine. Literally shuts it down because the entire deck is centered around banishing your cards to extend your boards. If you can't banish an Orcust, you literally have nothing almost. So he attempts Nessie, and I then reveal Gamma. And the thing about Gamma, after being activated with the Lancia, the Gammas go to the Gamma go along with the driver go to the graveyard, which means that if I were to draw another Gamma, I effectively have another resolution of its effect, and he doesn't even get a body on the board. So you know, I at least allow, you know, he's just not allowed to get anything on board. So he normal summons the Neospatian Aqua Dolphin, attempting its effect, figuring he can at least probably nab something out of my hand. So he discards his World Legacy, and then forces me to discard my Ash, and I take 500 points of damage, because that's the only card he can hit, because it's the only card that's lower than the card that's on his field. So now it's my turn. And here I activate 1 for 1, discarding the other copy of Lancia, special summoning Neptibus, and then I pay a cost for Neptibus. Send the Dragoons, and then here I add a copy of Marksman, and then I trigger Dragoons to add Megalo, figuring I can probably do quite a bit of damage here. You know, OTK right over Neospatian Aqua Dolphin, so I reveal Megalo, discarding Dragoons and Marksman. Marksman 1, Goons 2, and Megalo 3. So Megalo adds the equip spell that negates traps. Actually, I discarded a Neptibus rather, so I special summon the Marksman back, and then the Marksman pops the Crescendo. He doesn't have a Link monster, so it's not as if he can activate the Crescendo. But yeah, so then I use... And the best thing is even if he had the Crescendo, I have the equip spell, and the equip spell actually does negate counter traps. So that's actually the game right there. It was relatively quick, you know, it's just kind of a quick game. I just figured that I'd throw it up just because I wanted to get something out after so long. Not only that, I wanted to kind of showcase Mermails doing what they do best. But like I was saying though, the equip spell actually would negate the Crescendo because the equip spell doesn't chain to Crescendo. So if he flipped the counter trap while I had the equip spell live, it would have actually negated it. So that's the game, guys. Again, relatively quick. You know, nothing too crazy. That Orcust engine just really gets locked down by Artifact Lancia. Lancia is literally like the best side deck card against Orcusts if you're going second. Like, you can literally, the moment they try and do something, you tribute your Lancia from your hand, and it literally shuts them down. But that's it, guys. Eric here with TeamEccenTrick. I'm going to be bringing you guys as much content as I can. It's just, you know, with skateboarding and everything, it's going to be kind of difficult. You know, I'm kind of falling behind here. But that's it, guys. Eric here with TeamEccenTrick, and I'm signing out. Rate and subscribe, leave your comments and ideas in the comments section below, and don't hesitate to give us respectful suggestions on content you want to see. Eric on behalf of the team saying take care, and TeamEccenTrick out.